All right, welcome. Today we're going to jump right into a skill that is, absolutely essential for any security analyst just starting out. We're talking about taking that total mess of raw log files and turning it into something you can actually use, real-time threat detection. Seriously, think of this as your playbook for crushing a super common and super important internship project. So let's start with this quote because, honestly, it hits the nail on the head. If you can parse logs, you can see attacks forming in real time. This isn't just some boring data cleanup task, right? We're talking about something way cooler. It's like developing a superpower. It's about seeing the bad guys move the second they make a mistake. Okay, and this right here, this is the whole game. On the left, you've got chaos. Look at that thing. It's just a wall of text from a firewall log. You can't make heads or tails of it quickly. But then, look at the right. That's context. It's the exact same information, but now it's beautifully structured. It makes sense. And that journey, from the left side to the right side, that's what we're going to master today.
A great way to think about logs is that they're basically the DNA of your entire network. Every single thing that happens, it's recorded in there. But just like a geneticist looking at a raw DNA strand, if you don't have the right tools to read it, it's just a bunch of noise. And here's the scary part. If you miss one tiny critical signal in all that noise, an attacker could be in your network and you would have no idea. Your job as an analyst is to be the person who can read that DNA.
So how do we actually do this? How do we perform this, digital surgery? Well, like any good surgeon, you need the right tool for the job. And when you're dissecting logs, you need something with precision. You need a scalpel, not a sledgehammer.
And that scalpel, it has a name. It's called a regular expression, or what everyone just calls regex. Now, I know, the name sounds kind of scary, maybe a little nerdy, but don't let it throw you. All a regex is a special string of text you write to find a pattern. That's it. It's basically the find command from your text editor, but on steroids.
Okay, let's make this real. Check out this table. Think of each of these patterns as a different tool in your kit. So that first one, that's your IP address finder. It's written specifically to pull out only an IPv4 address and nothing else. And look at the other ones. We can build patterns to snag keywords like failed, or to pull out a specific username, or even find a file hash or a CVE number. Each one is a precision tool designed to grab one specific piece of the puzzle.
And yeah, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Regex is your scalpel in the jungle of logs. It's a perfect metaphor, because when you're looking at logs from firewalls, servers, apps, all these different sources, it really does feel like you're lost in a jungle of text. Regex is how you clear a path. It lets you cut through all that noise and grab exactly what you're looking for.
All right, so we've got our scalpel, our regex. That's awesome. But a tool by itself isn't enough, right? You need a plan. You need a process. So let's zoom out and look at the entire workflow, what I like to call the 5-stage battle plan for taking that log chaos and turning it into crystal clear context.
It all starts with step 1, ingest. That's just a fancy word for grabbing all the raw logs. Then comes the magic, step 2, normalize. This is where you use your regex scalpel to pull out all those important bits and pieces. And this step is so important because nothing else works until your data is clean and structured. Once it's normalized, you can enrich it. Maybe you add some threat intel to see if an IP address is known to be malicious. Then you correlate, looking for connections between, say, a firewall log and a login server log. And finally, you visualize it all on a dashboard in your SIEM so you can see alerts that actually make sense to a human being.
Okay, theory is great, but let's get our hands dirty. Or at least let's pretend to. I want you to imagine you're a new intern in a security operations center, a SOC. Your manager comes over to your desk. They've got a project for you. This is your mission.
So, your manager lays out exactly what they need. 4 things. First, they need you to write the regex patterns to pull out the important data. Second, they want you to build a simple script that does this automatically. Third, you need to show how that clean data can get fed into the company's SIEM. And finally, the big one. Use that data to create an actual detection rule for a real-world threat. Pretty straightforward, right? So, what does that first part of the mission actually look like? Well, it looks like this. You build a simple, clean table. You've got the field you want, like timestamp, the regex pattern that finds it, and then what it actually pulls out. And this isn't just busy work, by the way. By documenting it like this, you're not just creating a tool for yourself. You're building something your whole team can use and understand. That's how you make a good impression as an intern.
And then boom, this is what your script spits out. You feed it that ugly, messy log line, and you get back this beautiful, clean JSON. See how everything has a neat little label? Timestamp, source IP, user, it's all perfectly organized. This is the good stuff. This is the high-octane fuel that your security tools need to run properly.
And this is the whole point. This is the payoff for all that work. Because your data is now structured, you can write these incredibly simple, yet super powerful detection rules. This one here is basically saying, hey, SIEM, watch all the logs. If you ever see the same user fail to log in more than 5 times in a short period, I need you to scream and shout and create an alert. And just like that, you've automated threat detection. You've built a digital tripwire.
And just like that, mission accomplished. See? By going through this whole process, you didn't just check off some items on a to-do list for your internship. You've actually unlocked a whole set of skills that are, and I'm not exaggerating, the absolute bedrock of a career in cybersecurity operations.
And don't think this is just some academic exercise. This stuff has a massive impact in the real world. I mean, 60%. A huge bank was able to cut down its false positive alerts by 60%. Think about that. How did they do it? By doing exactly what we just walked through, using regex and parsing to make their alerts smarter and more precise. That means their analysts stopped wasting time chasing ghosts and could actually focus on finding real bad guys. That's a huge deal for preventing burnout.
So congratulations, you've basically unlocked your first achievement badge in cybersecurity. And take a look at these skills: log parsing, SIEM integration, regex, threat detection, and data normalization. These aren't just buzzwords. These are the literal keywords that hiring managers and recruiters are searching for when they look at resumes. You put this on your LinkedIn, you're gonna get noticed.
So I'll leave you with one last thing to chew on. In today's world, collecting data is easy, right? We can store petabytes of logs. But what's the real challenge? Is it just collecting all that data, or is it making sense of it? I think after what we've seen today, the answer is pretty clear. The real magic, the real skill, isn't in collecting the noise, it's in finding the signal. It's all about context. Thanks for hanging out with me today.